Today we're going to discuss the idea of progress, not perfection. One of the things that I have had to constantly remind myself over the past 20 some odd years that I've been working on my own journey of personal development, self-awareness, is that this journey is about progress, not perfection. Even having studied some of the skills and strategies for over 20 years, I still make mistakes. I still backslide. I still screw up. Very early on in my journey, I had someone say to me, "Will, you have to remember that this is about progress, not perfection." And they got into it a bit deeper. At that point in my life, I had lived a very specific way. I had very specific belief systems. I had a way that I looked at the world. I had a way that I communicated with people. I had a way that I dealt with anger. And it was second nature. It was a habit for me. Now, all of a sudden, I came to this point in my life where I decided I'm going to make a change. I'm going to become a new person. I'm going to clean up this part of my life. And I would start out with total enthusiasm. And then life wouldn't change, at least not as dramatically as I had expected it to. As an example, I was about a year into recovery and I was complaining about how my finances were still a mess. My relationships were still a mess. Didn't seem like anything had changed. I expected everything to be perfect. And I said, "Will, you can't expect to have 11 years worth of growth after 1 year of working on yourself." There's another phrase that I've heard for this that is, it's about the journey, not the destination. This journey of self-awareness that you have embarked on, or personal development, whatever you want to call it, it is an ongoing process. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and there's still new areas that I find to work on. But also there are areas that I've focused on for years that I will still make mistakes in. It's that 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's how we learn. We make mistakes. I think the challenge for a lot of us is that we've been so conditioned to beat ourselves up when we make a mistake that we focus on the faux pas rather than focusing on the progress that we've made. So I invite you to look at these things. Maybe you decided that you were going to deal with your anger in a better way. And you went for 2 weeks of being very restrained and actually very peaceful because of some of the things that you've applied. And then you had an outburst. What most people do in that situation is beat themselves up for another 2 weeks because of the outburst that we had. What I invite you to do is to take a look at the 2 weeks that you had previous to that outburst and look at the progress and look at the skills that you used and the moments that you reined yourself in. Look at that in any area of your life. Maybe it's in belief systems. Maybe it's in your desire to meditate or take time for yourself. Judge yourself on the progress, not on the standard of perfection. Now, why does this come up for me right now? Because I'm getting ready to embark on a major lifestyle change for myself. I've actually already started on it 3 days ago. And I wrote an article about it on the YourDailyLifeCoach website. My eating habits for years have been terrible. I normally eat once or twice a day, and I don't eat much. It's not like I sit down and pig out. I have like a sandwich or a salad for lunch, and then I have another sandwich for dinner. And that's it. Because I'm so caught up in wanting to do so many things that I'm not feeding myself good, nutritious food. Well, I'm approaching my 45th birthday, and my health has really started to show up in not the best way. And I realize it's because I'm not giving my body what it needs. So I've committed to this new approach to eating and eating more nutritious food and eating 6 times a day, every 3 hours. And I know from my past experiences that I can make the commitment and I can start out and I can get a couple of weeks into the program. And if I make the mistake, sometimes rather than just derailing me for a day, I'll let it derail me for a month or take me completely off the program and say, I knew I couldn't do it anyways. Let me look for something else. So I had to think about the progress, not perfection, as I start this journey on my own, because I truly know that any change that I make is going to be tremendous benefit to me. And I also know that in the past, I've used the lack of perfection as an excuse not to finish things. So what I'd like to invite you to do, use the progress that you've made in your life. Whether you just started on your journey of self-awareness with our series or whether you started years ago, take a moment right now to sit down with a journal and compare. Who were you when you started this journey? And who have you grown to be at this point? Not where you've fallen short, but note the progress that you've made at this point in your journey. And it's a good idea to do this regularly. Sit down once a month, once every 3 months, but sit down and really give yourself new references for how far you have come. It's kind of like one of those things, if you have a child and you're around that child every day, you don't notice the growth that they've had. But if you see a friend's child and you don't see that child for 3 months, you're amazed the next time you see them at how long their hair has gotten and how tall they've gotten and how they've matured. We need to look at our own progress and do it incrementally. Now, there's another facet to progress, not perfection, that we're going to discuss in next week's video, which is how by setting up expectations of perfection, we often either prevent ourselves from taking action, or we prevent ourselves from finishing the project that we've been working on or applying everything that we know that we should. So again, I look forward to your feedback on this episode on progress, not perfection. I look forward to learning how you've marked your progress. Do you journal? Do you share it with friends? Do you blog it? I look forward to connecting again soon. Take care. For a transcription of the video you just watched, more videos, and related articles, visit YourDailyLifeCoach.com. To comment on this video, select Discussion Forums on any page of our website.